And what's your name?
My name is Ricco Diamante. I think art was always encouraged by my parents. I definitely grew up in a house that had very little television and a lot more library time, so it was always something that I believe was just kind of positive reinforcement. Both my parents were artists, and that was something they enjoyed to do with me since a young child. I think at first it was a bit of an obsession with my dad's vinyl albums. He had a pretty big collection of records in our home, and just kind of studying the album art of like some of the old Grateful Dead albums and trying to recreate some of those original prints before I even knew they were prints. So trying to draw in a manner that had a lot of detail to it was something I took on pretty early. And it pretty much evolved into doing kind of portrait work and trying to draw, you know, from Rolling Stone magazine photographs and just making things look as real as possible. And I think the more my friends encouraged me, the more I wanted to get better and better at it. Well, when the museum asked me to do a painting for the Day of the Dead, I began my research just to kind of get myself re-familiar with the meaning and the symbolism of why the Day of the Dead Festival exists. And I decided to just go right to the origins, which is basically the Aztec folklore and culture and religion, and focus on the god of death. And instead of making it so ominous, I wanted to basically do an image that was very familiar with modern culture, which is La Catrina, La Llorona, which is a lot of spin-offs of the original storyline, you know. So I wanted to do something that was both beautiful as well as kind of a little bit scary, you know, because a lot of people fear death, but that isn't what the Day of the Dead Festival is supposed to be about. You know, growing up Mexican American and just being drawn to the images that I'd see in the books of the Mexican muralist, and you know, I think the drawings from Jose Posada, the prints from Jose Posada is probably some of the first that I was drawn to. There were such graphic images of the skeletons dancing, or the skeletons, you know, in battle, or one or the other. So La Catrina was always portrayed as a skeleton woman with a giant hat, which kind of represented the wealthy. And I remember having a t-shirt of that, and you know, people always asking what that was. And this painting started with photography of live models, you know, so I can get the anatomy of the bone structure and the face and the details of the eye. So once I drew it in with chalk, sealed it in, and then began the painting, then I started doing research. And a lot of times it's just a matter of jumping online on the internet and finding the images that I need. You know?
Yeah.
So the references for the feathers or whatnot. What I'm now doing is I'm beginning to lay out the imagery that's going to be on her body. Instead of doing a full skeletal body, I wanted to do a very kind of thin skin over the skeleton type of look, and then have imagery tattooed into her flesh. So I'm beginning a neck piece now that represents the Lady of the Underworld's husband, the god of death. And so this is going to be a portrayal of kind of like just some different imagery. I just started doing a very organic kind of dreadlock style hairstyle that was kind of in a portrayal of almost filigree from like a Renaissance style frame or painting. So when it starts getting a little bit more refined, you'll start to see a little bit more of that depth in it. Putting a dried rose in her hair and feathers coming from behind her ear. And instead of doing an Aztec headdress where the feathers are enormous, I wanted to do something that's a little bit more modern, high fashion, and kind of have something flowing off the back of her ear with those long feathers that are often portrayed in the festivals.
Close your eyes, slow your breath, dream of northern lights round this land. No llores, busca tu río, no te sientas perdido, gira, vuelta y vuelta, gira, danza de la muerte que viene a verte, bailala.
These days I'm a full-time tattoo artist. I've been doing that 4 years now, and that's my daily grind, you know. So to do a painting, I also wanted to put a little bit of, you know, my current influences into this work. And tattooing has been something that's been around since the beginning of time as well. So I finished my college degree with a discipline in drawing, painting, and printmaking, but I still was looking for a way to apply that to the real world. You know, it was fun selling a painting every now and then, or doing a gallery show with a group of artists once in a while, but to live off of that was a real challenge. You know, so I kind of figured tattooing was a way to not only be around artists that were, you know, in my peer group, but also to be influenced by my clients on a daily basis, you know, to research things that I might not have ever looked into, and also to just kind of be almost the Olympian of an artist, where you're training every day, you know, you're drawing every day. You have to perform, you have to wake up regardless of your personal life and get to work and do 100% on a tattoo for somebody. And I thought that was a really interesting challenge, because as a fine artist, you once in a while have deadlines for studio critiques, or once in a while you get a deadline for a gallery show if you're lucky, but otherwise you kind of make art at your own pace. But as a tattooist, you're pretty much making art on a stopwatch, and you're still trying to make it 100%. There's a bit of a revolution in the tattoo industry happening where, you know, artists with degrees, or, you know, ex-art teachers are retiring, getting into tattooing and applying the elements of design, you know, composition and light and color theory, and they're making very dynamic images that are basically breaking the stereotypes of what has been done before. You know, tattooing has also evolved in the sense of the technology that has been used is changing and getting a lot more refined, which is allowing artists to do things that weren't done before. To kind of slow that progression down and focus more on studio art is definitely my next dream, because this is where it began, and I feel like I'm coming full circle now with being able to tattoo very unique custom works of art, and then also bring that into my studio and portray. You know, very soon I think I'll be at a point where the paintings that hang on my wall in the studio will be paintings that clients will be asking me to tattoo on them. So it'll be full circle in that way.
Close your eyes, slow your breath, dream of northern lights round this day.